So, one interesting thing we'll find out about the narcissistic pattern is that a lot of them are not aware of what they are. So, a lot of them, believe that relationships are tumultuous constantly. They always turn into conflict. That's just the way love goes. They don't have a sense of where the problem is happening. It's because and I point to the pattern of like a vampire not being able to see its own reflection, right? I think that's a deep symbolism there. In narcissism is very vampiric in the pattern, but they their narcissism doesn't let them see that that's the pattern, right? It doesn't let that self awareness come to fact and to see that there's a problem there. Um, and I just think it's just that there's a momentum, there's a rut in the narcissistic pattern and lifestyle. So, you have a parenting strategy that is this kind of gamesmanship and constantly trying to control, and the child mimics that, and then that snowballs throughout their life. So, and that's just, becomes their identity, becomes their reality. They don't know anything different as far as like a motivational pleasure matrix. They're hyper focused on pleasure specifically from controlling another person, specifically from the importance you get from that other person, being dependent upon you, and even, you know, afraid of losing you or afraid of you, all kinds of different dynamics, but basically, and also habituating the marginalization of empathy of like the other person's experience. This is only about your experience and how the other person is affected by it is not meaningful, right? You're only in this reality. You're only focused on what you get from them, as well as uh, and their suffering is irrelevant, really. But I would argue that only the highest level. So this is the narcissist spectrum. I don't think this is recognized in psychology. I think that there's this archetypal cookie cutter Gaston type of description of what narcissism is. And I just think it presents itself in different ways, depending on intelligence level, depending on personality style. It's going to manifest in different ways, and how deep the pattern and programming has been at an early age, how much momentum this has developed. But in most cases, it's a self defense mechanism. It doesn't allow them to see, so, and a lot of times they aren't receptive to treatment because they don't think there's anything wrong. The victims of narcissism or those people subjected to it are prime candidates for treatment. But avoidance seems to be the most important tactic as far as modern day approaches to narcissism. Um, Early education, early awareness might be solutions in the future. At this point, most aren't receptive to treatment, so you have to basically avoid the type of pattern and behavior. So, all right, hope that gives you a little insight. It's part of what makes it so believable, and the narrative and story, because a lot of times they're not conscious of their behavior and who they are. So, they're a thief that doesn't know that they're a thief, and so they have, plausible deniability, implausible deniability. But something to consider when you consider your experiences with narcissism. Most aren't aware of it, but you need to be aware of it and you need to avoid it. Thanks for listening.